What's up, party person? If you are on this video, it's because you are probably not making as much money or as many sales as you would like to. In fact, you might think that you don't make enough money. And I'm telling you that's not your problem. I'm telling you your problem is that you don't make money fast enough. You see, if you had $1 million in both hands, if you have $1 million in both hands, all right? If you made this $1 million in a year, you are rich. However, if you made the same $1 million in 20 years, you are poor, okay? And so it's not the fact that you don't make enough money, it's that you don't make money fast enough. And so what I want you to do is realize that you see this camera, in the camera, all right? I'm gonna flip it around that way you know this is live. You will see a teleprompter right here, and then you'll see OBS where I'm recording this on whichever screen. And so the fact that this teleprompter is not on tells you this is not a scripted pitch or presentation or anything like that. So you rest assured this is just straight from the heart, okay? Because that's all I know how to do. That's all I know how to do, which I'm going to help you in this video sales letter, okay? Let me just be very blunt with you. I know I can help you, so listen up. And as a matter of fact, let me turn this on. If you're wondering what this is, I'll tell you later on. But this is a device called a magnetic pulsar that when I turn it on, like I just did, it makes people give me money for my products and services. So, yeah. Anyways, the biggest problem that you have is that customers know you are selling to them. Okay, in all of your content and all your videos and all your pitches, customers are aware. Okay, you see. And how did they get to that point? You see, at some point, it's like the Charlie Brown comic strip, Peanuts. Lucy's holding this football for Charlie Brown, and she says, come here and kick the foot. This is a foot. Just pretend this watch is a football. She says, come here and kick this football, Charlie Brown, and I'm gonna hold it for you. And Charlie Brown says, girl, you got me tripping, sister. Like I ain't kicking that football. You're just gonna pull it away from me. And she goes, no, I promise you, I won't, okay? I promise you I won't. I'm going to hold the football for you. I'm going to hold the football for you. You come on and kick it. He goes, all right, I'll give you a chance. And he runs up, and right as he's about to kick the football, she yanks it away from him. She yanks it away. And he goes, and he falls on his butt, and he's looking up at the stars, and he's got the birds like flying around on the comic strip. And he goes, what the heck, Lucy? And she goes, well, sorry, Charlie Brown. I saw dirt on your sneakers and I didn't want you to get dirt on my new football. And you see, that comic strip tells you everything that's going on in the mind of a customer today. It's at the fact that every time they have believed someone enough to run up and kick the football, they've pulled it away. They pulled the football away. Well, in this video, I'm going to keep the football there for you and let you kick it. Because the problem with the comic strip is if you look deeply enough, anything that resembles Lucy or the football, if this was some scripted out canned presentation with not a lot of enthusiasm, not a lot of rawness, not a lot of entertainment, it would not be interesting. But the fact that you're still here tells me you are and you're smart enough. So in the next few moments, I'm going to show you exactly how to get around that. That way customers don't they don't categorize you as a threat, because the moment you sound salesy, it's a sales presentation, anything like that. I mean, I don't know about you. I'm wearing like Vivo barefoot shoes and a pair of blue jeans and an Under Armour. You're lucky I even have a shirt on for this presentation, but I didn't want to scare everyone off, all right? Because I got some muscles. Anyways, I can bench press 315. That is a rather impressive feat for being 186 pounds soaking wet and only 6 foot. However, the biggest problem that's causing you to not feel like you don't make enough money, because what happens when you don't make enough money? Your wife doesn't look at you the same, your husband doesn't treat you with the same level of respect, you guys don't chase each other, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your significant other around the house like you used to when you were in high school. There's not a lot of sexual appeal because you're constantly stressed, your cortisol levels are through the roof, and you're like 2 coffees away from a heart attack or a stroke because of how stressed you are. Your kids aren't listening, they're drawing shit on the walls. Oh my God, he cussed in a video, I know, how terrible. Anyways, and all this, it's hard to enjoy life when you're not making as many sales as you want. That's how you make money, right? That's how you earn money. You cannot make money. If anyone tells you they're going to help you make money, they are lying to you. Only the United States government can make money. And yes, we're getting lost in semantics, but it is important to be precise. Okay, I am trained in the art of language and communication. The fact that I can get other humans to do what I desire them to do is the reason I am able to earn as much money as I would like, which I'm going to give you that ability in this video. Okay, so the biggest problem, let's just get very crystal clear. Your prospects are labeling you in their brain as a threat. All right, we have this thing in our brain called the somatosensory nervous system. And what that does is it labels things, it categorizes them in order to make decisions and conserve energy. And so it leads us to this word in psychology called habituation. It's when your brain detects a familiar pattern, it does something, it repeats a behavior. Your brain detects something and then it repeats a behavior. Your customers label you a threat because you're selling to them. They know that you are selling them something and they repeat a behavior. Not buying, giving you objections, backbiting, leaving nasty reviews, saying, I'm not interested. I need to talk to my significant other about it. I need to think about it as polite customer talk for goodbye. We will never see each other again. I need to think like I can't afford it. That's a construct, not a confide. It's not a real thing. This is how you really tell your customers what's going on. The fact that they say they can't afford it means it is not important enough for them to go find the resources for it. It's that your offer does not make them want to be resourceful, because we've all had something in our life where we saw it, we wanted it, we did whatever it took to get it. Maybe that was a girl. Maybe that was, for me, 315 in the gym. I knew I had to get stronger in order to lift that weight, and now I can. I can go squat. I can go deadlift. I can go bench a lot of weight because it was important enough for me to go through the resistance it took to get the thing that I wanted. And I'm telling you, it is the same for you, for your customers, for your kids, for everybody in this world. That law applies to all of us. And so the problem is, in your life, in your business, in your sales, in your presentations, is that the fact that your customers understand, they know you are selling to them. You resemble Lucy pulling the football away. Your sales pitch resembles Lucy pulling the football away from them. And so why would they want to buy? Because all they think is going to happen is that they're going to have their football, their goals, their aspirations, their dreams pulled away from them. Because what did the last 1,000 salespeople did to them? Pull the football away. And so if you can just communicate to them, that's the first sale that you have to make, is that, hey, you can trust me to not pull the football away from you. I'm going to hold it there and I'm going to let you kick it and we're both going to score together. This is teamwork. Teamwork makes the dream work, baby. So that's the first thing you have to communicate to them. It's the first sale that has to happen in all of you. You have to sell them on rapport, on trusting you, because that's what rapport is, right? When two things are like one another, they tend to like one another. That's the basis of understanding, trust, rapport. And when something is familiar, when you look, when you talk, when you walk like your customers, they tend to trust you a lot more. And that's the first sale, is even trusting you. You're selling on a deficit. You're selling on the opposite end of the spectrum. You see, the pendulum swings in two directions, all right? Over here is no trust at all. Over here is where the sale is made, where there's tons of trust. And so customers are always over here. They don't trust us. And so we have to say like, hey, I'm quite a bit like you. I use the same words as you. I use the same vocabulary. And when you do that, you start bypassing conscious awareness. When you don't sound like a salesperson, when you just communicate, when you're not selling and you just communicate, you're moving further on the trust pendulum, on the purchasing pendulum, okay? That's what we're going to call it from now on. If you want to be over here on the purchase pendulum, you have to learn how to get out of all of this. How do you do that? Through certain communication techniques. I call it mouthmatics. It is the art of knowing what to say. Okay, in mouthmatics, the core philosophy that helped me create this method was that the brain cannot reject what the brain cannot detect. If the brain does not detect it is being sold to, it cannot reject being sold to. And in that case, money changes hands. All right? Value exchange happens. It's a barter, okay? It's a trade. It's a choice and a consequence. The consequence is they get their problem solved. Their choice was to exchange money for it. In other words, how do you communicate to your customers that you're not a threat? How do you get them to even trust you, first of all? And then how do you get them to want to voluntarily part with their money to pay off their problems. Because that's all it is. They have a debt right now, and you're saying, hey, if you give me money, I'll pay your debt off for you. I'll forgive it. In other words, you have a problem, and so do I. My problem is that I want your dollar. Your problem is that you want your problem gone more than you want your dollar. Okay? So if you give me your dollar, I'll make your problem go away. And the customer says, that sounds like a good deal to me. Here you go. I'll buy your product. I'll buy your service. And that's what they're doing. If I was selling this watch, hey, you want to tell time and you don't have a phone, you keep missing all of your wife's birthdays because you don't know what damn time it is, or you don't know what day it is and what time. Here's a watch, okay? Or you simply tell someone, hey, what time is it? Oh, I don't have a watch. Here you go. Supply and demand, my friend. We all know that. But the thing is, if you can't even communicate it in an effective and influential manner, because that's the only difference between me and most people. The fact that I can get my girlfriend to want to, that's a key ingredient. Anybody can go show up to work because they need to pay their bills, but how do you get humans to voluntarily want to do things? You have to communicate in a manner that makes them think it was their idea. And I have never seen anyone else be able to come up with a system that makes you aware of this, because what makes someone want to do that? It's natural communication. It's the fact that they can't detect it. You see, mathematics is like speaking in a language that people can't even read. And because they don't know what the words are, they don't know the language, they can't detect it. They can't reject it. All right? And so that's what mathematics is the art of knowing what to say. It bypasses conscious resistance, because if you resemble a salesperson, if it walks like a duck, if it talks like a duck, it must be a salesperson. I must be getting sold to. This must be a sales pitch. And I'm telling you, it's not. When you know mathematics, you can bypass that and talk to the unconscious mind. All right? Which is where all decisions take place, is in the unconscious. The conscious mind is the gatekeeper, because the whole time you're selling someone something, they're saying, how can I trust this dude? Is he even real? Is this an AI video? I can tell you one thing AI videos aren't going to do. They're not going to say the word fuck in a sales presentation. You see, because I'm a human, because I'm so inherently flawed, just like the rest of us, because I have differences and problems that make me unique. Even my skin prints are different than yours. Yours are different than mine. That's what makes you you, and that's what you should love you for, is that the fact that you're unique and that you are different, okay? Nobody will ever be the same as you watching this right now. No one will ever have the same fingerprints as you, the same ear prints as you, the same name, and people will have the same name, but they will never be you. They will never be a clone of you, which makes you inherently unique. Okay, but both of us follow the same laws. Gravity works on both of us, whether we are in Austin, Texas, or wherever you're at. If I jump off a building in Austin, Texas, I'm going to go splat on the ground. If you jump off a building where you're at, you're going to go splat on the ground. There are laws that work for both of us, and I'm telling you, there are, just like there are laws of gravity that pull all things down, even some things that we don't want to be pulled down, weight, stomach, whatever. If you knew how to communicate, if you knew the laws of communication, you could get around them. You would understand how to use them. Because I know how to use gravity, I can lift heavier weights in the gym. I can have better relationships. Because I know the laws of communication, I can get humans to repeatedly, not just luckily when I talk with emotion or vigor or excitement, because I can consciously pull this whenever I need to, and because I'm so good at it, I do it unconsciously, because I can communicate and articulate points and manners that people say, wow, he makes me feel understood. I'm going to do what he's asking me to do. But the thing is, they never say that. They just say, I'm going to do this. And they think it was their idea because of my ability to embed commands in their unconscious mind. When you say things like, are you getting this? Are you with me? Those are embedded commands. It's a question for their unconscious mind. Am I getting this? Yes, 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 yes. And you build this yes chain, which I'll tell you how to use inside of mathematics. It's when you understand the laws of communication, you can repeatedly get other humans, customers, to do what you want them to do. And what do you want customers and other humans to do? Well, you want them to give you money and buy your product or service. That way you can put money and food. You can spend your money that you make. That's the whole point of money, right? It's to spend it. It's to exchange it. It's a currency. What do we use currency for? To barter for what we want more than we want our dollars. And so you're saying, I have dollars, you have a product. I want to communicate with my friends and family. Therefore, I'm going to give Apple my money So I can do that. Look, I gave Apple $1,000 for this phone in cash, and now I can call anyone I want across anywhere in the world. I can send a message and have it delivered. I can tell my loved ones, hey, I love you, and I can send them videos and cool stuff, all because I gave Apple my money. All right? I can go see the Northern Lights with my money. I can pay an airline rather than me spending billions of dollars to purchase an airline, to have people construct an airplane for me. I can just pay Delta, because they're the best airline, or I can fly private all the way to Fairbanks, Alaska, which I just went to 2 months ago to see the Northern Lights. It's been a dream of mine since I was a kid. And the only reason I can afford to do this stuff, because that trip was about $8,000 for all the stuff that I did, dog sledding, meeting certain people that lived over there and getting private tours on private land and private properties, because I don't want to go where everyone else goes. That stuff costs money. The fact that I can drop $8,000 on the drop of a dime for a trip to go see the beautiful Northern Lights, the Aurora Borealis, it's all because I have the ability to communicate and get people to do what I want them to do. All right? And I'm telling you, you can do the same thing when you learn mathematics, when you learn the art of knowing what to say, when you can articulate your customers' desires and problems better than them, when you have the ability to say things in a way that get them to realize what they didn't even know that they wanted. You can sell anything, you can get any human to do what you desire them to do. And the thing is, that desire already exists. You don't have to know how to create it. Just like I don't have to know how electricity works to flip on a light switch in my room. I just flip the switch and it's on, off, on, off. I don't have to understand electricity to do that. And when you use the mathematics method that I'm giving you today, you don't have to understand how the techniques work. You don't have to understand anything other than use the techniques and it gets results. It's as simple as on, off, and customers give you money. You use the techniques and customers give you money. Just like that. It's as simple as that. Okay? Using mathematics, which I'm giving you right now, is as simple as turning a light switch on and off. You don't have to understand electricity. You don't have to spend years of your life becoming an electrician. You just use the techniques, the method that I'm giving you in under an hour, and customers give you money. Okay? In less than 30 minutes, customers will give you money because they can't detect that you're selling to them. This is the only decision engineering system available on the market. Okay? I don't see anybody else using this stuff. Everybody else gives you some line that this is a book I'm rereading currently because I like making more money out of my business, which I'm sure you do as well. But let's say this was a sales book. I'm not giving you a bunch of scripts that every other salesperson is using, because every other salesperson out there currently is struggling. A lot of them can talk a big game on social media, but they don't have the P&Ls to show for it. They don't have the trips, the experiences, the respect to show for it. And sure, some of these people do make money, but it takes them all their time. And if you have no time to enjoy your money, well, it's not really worth that much then, is it? Even Alexander the Great says, when you bury me, don't put any money in my hands, because I want them to realize the person who took over the world is leaving it with nothing. Money is no good if you have no time to spend it. Money is no good if no one loves you enough to want to come spend it with you and spend time with you. All right? And so I'm telling you, when you learn when you install mathematics into your life, your sex, you get a lot more sex. I can't tell you, my girlfriend texts me constantly. She blows my phone up. She's a crazy Latina. She's very beautiful, but because of the fact that I say things in a way that gets her thinking about me all the time, and she tells me, baby, I'm thinking about you. I believe in you. I love you so much. I hope your day is as fantastic as you are. When you have a woman who's communicating with you in that manner every day, it's very hard to fail. When people around you say, I wish I was as confident as you. When you have people saying that, it's pretty hard to fail and not get what you want out of life. When you have the ability to get other humans to do what you desire them to do, you guide their assumptions for them to make a decision. What is a decision? It's you take in some information, you say, I want this, what do I need to do in order to get it? And you have an assumption about what you think you need to do, and so you make that assumption true by deciding to do it. You say, I think if I make more sales calls, I'll make more money. That's a decision, right? But it's based on an assumption. And so I'm telling you, when you know how to guide people's assumptions, you can guide their decisions. When you get them to see the world in a different way, when you present them with new information, they're going to do things differently. And what are they going to do things differently? They're not going to label you a threat, and they're not going to treat you like you're a salesperson. They're going to say, this person just wants to help me. I'm going to decide to give them money. And I'm telling you, it's as easy as that, all right? Flipping on a switch. And when you use the mathematics method that I'm giving you, you can have whatever you want, okay? It's like speaking in a language that people can't even read. And because they can't detect it, their brains cannot reject it, which means they will never label you a threat, they'll never give you objections, because you'll have already taken care of those before they even become objections. What's the best way to deal with objections? Simply not get them. What's the best way to level up your life? Simply earn more money. We're not here to save. Okay, we're not here to be penny pinchers. We're not here to be frugal and noble and humble. We're here to earn a lot of money and help a lot of people by helping ourselves first. It's the appropriate level of self-interest. Everything you want in your life is on the other side. Here's the wall that you're facing. Everything you want is on the other side of going through resistance. And I'm telling you, you don't have to go through the wall. You can just bypass it with mathematics. Everything you want is on the other side of knowing what to say. Predictable revenue for you is on the other side of knowing what to say. Okay? And why did I pick this book? Well, I didn't. It was just sitting on my desk. But the fact that I know how to communicate in a way to use my environment, that's called being resourceful. Mathematics will make you resourceful. And when you are resourceful, you can get anything you want. And it's as simple as turning it on and off. You don't have to know how it works. You don't have to know why it works. I'm telling you, you just turn it on and off. When you want to make money, it goes on and off. That's the best gift I could possibly ever give anybody else, because here's what happens when you don't. You lose everything. Everything you want. Without mathematics, it's the price you pay for not knowing it. Everything you want becomes the sacrifice. And that's the last thing I want for you, is to have to give up family and friends and time off with your loved ones and being in an environment where you feel respected and you just get treated like the beautiful human that you are. Because I'm telling you, I know how that feels as well. I know what it's like to meet people and have them say, nice meeting you, and you know they never meet it. When girls don't give you the time of the day because they see you haven't accomplished anything. I'm telling you, all of that is possible when you use mathematics, all right? The ability to communicate is the single greatest lever that you can pull today, like a slot machine that's guaranteed to always hit the jackpot. All right? Because I'm telling you, when nothing's going well in life, your heart gets hard. And when your heart is hard, your hand is closed. And what happens when life tries to give you an opportunity or a blessing? You say, I can't even reach out and grab it because my heart is hard and my hand is closed. With mathematics, you can open your hand, which means you can catch blessings, which I'm trying to give you right now. I am attempting to give it to you right now. And you know what? If you haven't accepted my gift to you yet, it's not because I can't communicate. I've proven I can communicate. I've made the money that I wanted to. I'm simply trying to extend this opportunity, this invitation, this blessing to you. And it has nothing to do with me and everything to do with you. Okay? So my only question is, when do you want to start making progress? If you want to start today, there's a button somewhere around here. You can click that, and what you're going to do is you're going to type in your name, your email, your phone number, so I can call you and congratulate you on making one of the most important decisions in your life. And that's to invest in yourself. Because you see, what do humans use most of? Their mouth. And if you don't know how to use it, you can never get what you want. And so with mathematics, the art of knowing what to say, you can have whatever you want. Everything you want is on the other side of knowing what to say. It is impossible to be broke and have the words to say. You cannot know what to say and still be broke. You just can't. You just can't, all right? It's impossible. It's a law. You cannot both be broke and have the right words to say and know how to use the mouth. You just can't. So tap the button. You're going to fill out your name, your email, your phone number. You're going to put in your card number or your PayPal. You're going to enter whatever that is, and you're going to accept my invitation, because if you don't pay for it, you'll never value it. And if you don't value it, you'll never use it. You see, I know that when you use mathematics, you'll get whatever you want. All right? How do I know? Because I've done it. Because I've helped other people do it. Because I taught Brandy Linneman how to use mathematics, how to use her mouth. She made $67,000 in a day. There's a video below on this page that proves that true. I'm not just telling you random things. I took a broke Starbucks kid, a kid who's never done anything in his life, and I helped him do $28,000 his first month, $27,000 his first month. That's unheard of. It's unreal. And I'm telling you, you can do it as well. You can do that today. You can have that today if you would like. So Everything you want is on the other side of knowing what to say. Tap the button, go get mathematics, and I will see you on the other side.